official. Nigerian economy is in recession as Nigeria enters the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics to release the end of quarter figures which weigh out for the nation's bleeding economy. We take a critical look at President Muhammadu Buhari's economic direction and the issues thrown up. Many thanks for staying with us, everyone. It's not a good time for the nation's economy. Well, the present reality is that the price of virtually everything has gone up. The naira keeps falling and the exchange rate is unfriendly. But before we go too deep into the major issue of the day, let's take a quick look at some of your top political stories we're following for you at this time.
Political roundup on Channels Television. Here are your top political stories this time.
Reconstitute INEC now. That's the call of a rights group. The Action Aid. The organization's country director, Mrs. Ojobo Atuluku, says the lack of appointment of 23 national commissioners to the organization has affected the day-to-day runnings. She's also criticized the spate of inconclusive elections across the country.
I also hope that this meeting will discuss and proffer solutions to the current trend of inconclusive elections.
And the President, Muhammadu Buhari, is asking the National Assembly to hasten the passage of statutory budgets for 29 government corporations and agencies. President Buhari made the request through his Senior Special Assistant on National Assembly Matters, Senator Itai Enang. He says the passage of the budget for the 29 government corporations and agencies would stimulate the economy and create jobs.
As the National Assembly considers and approves this as they resume, there will be a lot of activity again in the economy.
And members of the National Assembly have called for the removal of funds belonging to the National Health Insurance Scheme from the federal government's Treasury single account in order to enable the scheme achieve its desired purpose of providing health care for the citizens. The chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Senator Lanre Tejosho, and a member of the House Committee on Health, Mohammed Usman, made the call at the 3-day National Health Insurance Scheme management retreat holding in Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria. The lawmakers argue that the NHIS fund is a contributory fund meant to provide health care services to civil servants in times of need. They say the idea of channeling such funds into the Treasury single account will create bottlenecks and affect service delivery.
Let's just have enough money to be able to expand all the health investment in Nigeria.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You may be up to date, but let's give you some more of some of the top stories we're following. Let's tell you about some of the other stories now. The people of Edo State are preparing to determine who their governor will be. That will be in a few days. INEC, the umpire, has been meeting with stakeholders, and INEC and the police, the Nigerian police, say that adequate logistics and security arrangements have been put in place. The exercise slated for the 10th of September. The police say that they will deploy over 20,000 personnel for the election, while INEC has released some figures for the election, qualified voters. But now, 135,877 are the newly registered voters during the recently concluded continuous voter registration exercise. So about 1,925,105 voters are expected for this election. Of course, we do know that 18 local government areas in the state, 192 wards, 2,627 polling units, 4,011 voting points are up for this election in Edo State. So there is more to happen during the election apart from our coverage of that election. So Channel Television will bring you perhaps the most robust conversation around the election in Edo State. We bring some of the top contenders in the race in a debate on the 4th of September 7 p.m. right in the heart of the city of Benin, the state capital. So follow us as we will launch out on all our social media platforms, from Facebook to Twitter, and you will also be able to watch us live at m.channelstv.com.
Governor of Edo State. We engage some of the top contenders.
Wherever and whenever you go, and you will be able to participate live on some of the discussions that will happen on the day. Some of the top contenders you're seeing right on your screen will be present, and this debate Channels Television will be hosting September 4, 7 p.m. in Benin City, and our partner, Enough is Enough Nigeria. Edo Decide, hashtag Edo Decide. That's how you can follow the conversation. Well, let's move away from that now to our major story of the day. Today, the National Bureau of Statistics released figures on the Nigerian economy, the GDP figures now, for the 2016 second quarter by the National NBS shows that there is a decline. The gross domestic product declined by minus 2.06% in the second quarter of 2016 on a year-on-year basis. Agriculture, based on those figures, grew by 4.53% in the second quarter of 2016 as compared to 3.09% in the first quarter. Let me show you some of, there you go. You can see them. Not so exciting as one will imagine, considering how things have gone right now. But of course, the federal government is speaking about these. Some of you who understand some of the sense behind some of these figures. We're looking at a policy tonight, not basically the figures. We want to give you a sense of what you need to know as a Nigerian citizen and the decision you need to be making. If you eat 3 meals, maybe you might be considering cutting that, and what are the policies of the present government and the effect has on you right now and on your table. Well, let's look at what the federal government is saying. The federal government has reacted to the advisor to the president and the economy, Dr. Dipiolu, released a statement. They said the inflation rate remains high, but the good news is that the month-on-month rate of increase has fallen continuously over this past 3 months. Unemployment remains stubbornly high, which is usually the case during growth slowdowns and for reasons of a structural nature. Make a sense of this right now. What the federal government is saying, the IMF had forecasted a growth of minus 1.8% for 2016. However, the economy is performing better than the IMF estimates so far. For the half year, it stands at minus 1.23% compared to an average of minus 1.08% expected on average by the IMF. So they finalized by saying, what is more, it is likely the second half will be better than the first half of 2016. This is because many of the challenges faced in the first half either no longer exist or have eased. They're trying to encourage Nigerians. But, well, what encouragement than you get in all of this? Let's make sense of all of this situation, the programs of the government of the day, what you need to be doing right now as a Nigerian citizen, investment-wise, and all of these issues. That's what we'll be talking about. Let's now get more perspectives. Now, policy analyst Joe Femi Daguro joins us now in the studio. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much, as usual.
We've discussed this, and one will be wondering, does these figures come to you as a surprise? Is it so much different from the expectations of analysts and economic watchers from what we got today?
I think most economists and most analysts will agree that this is what is expected. I mean, I've said it before, Nigeria's economy has already contracted a long time ago, and we know that this recession is right on, and it's just a matter of defining it technically and say, look, this is a technical definition of being there or coming, or when is it going to be announced, but it's known. You're talking about 3 square meal. Lately, I think I read in the papers that even all these chickens are not being given 3 square meal anymore. So that means something is really going on.
Something is really going on.
Yes. So we have to look.
I will pause you. We will talk deeper into this issue, but we need to take this break. And when we return, we're making sense of the new figures from the NBS and how it will affect you, plus the policy of government of the day. Join us again. We'll be right back.